Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of The Plant Whisperer. What is a plant whisperer 242, you may be asking? And who is that lady? Well, that lady is Kat, and that's me. I have been in the plant industry for the past 15 years, and I am always inundated with questions about plants and how do I take care of it? How do I start? What does it take? So we decided here at Chairwood Management to start a live show about plants. It's all about plants, and hence the Plant Whisperer 242 was created. Now, for the past few segments, we have been talking about backyard farming because that's all the rage and that's all the questions that I've been getting about how to start my farm. I want to grow my own food. I want to eat more organically. So we decided to tackle the topic of backyard farming. Hence, we're in the backyard, eh? I know we're not in the studio. And we're tackling backyard farming. So that's what this segment of Plant Whisper 242 is all about for this segment. We're going to get into more detail because the show is actually created to highlight different specialists in the Bahamas and to showcase everything that they have, stemming from landscaping to nurserymen to backyard farmers, to people that grow orchids, that grow bromeliads. We want to feature you so the world could see what we have to offer here in the 242. And we have a lot of special species of plants, that a lot of people would not get an opportunity to see. And we have a lot of people that actually love and care for the environment and plants in general specifically. So that's what the Plant Whisperer 242 is all about. So for everybody out there, like and share the video. There are a lot of people out there who may not be my friend or our friend as yet here on the Plant Whisperer 242. So like and share because the information I'm giving you, I want everybody to know. Like I say, always get inundated with questions about plants. And I decided to come to you because a lot of people can't come to me. So I decided to come to you to help you, to assist you in your growing. So like we would have mentioned, the rage now, and I call it the rage now is all about backyard farming. And like I have said in numerous shows, as long as you're farming, I don't care if it's in the backyard, I don't care if it's on acres, you are a farmer. So don't let nobody call you backyard farmer like you some little fancy. You're a farmer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap, not in detail, but I'm just going to recap some of what we would have already done. And again, I want to say welcome to all of our new viewers and all of our team members. You are welcome once again. So for the past few segments, we have been talking about backyard farming. And it's not too late. I know the curfew or what we're under this pandemic is about to break, but it's not too late to start. You can always grow. So I don't want you to think like, oh, I started too late. It's never too late to grow. Guys, grow. Grow, grow, grow. Because one thing we all have to do is eat and drink. All right? We don't have to do anything else, but we have to eat and drink. So I'm going to just recap some of the shows. And if you want a bit more detail about the information I'm discussing, go look at the previous videos and you can get some more information. And if you have questions, you can always email us or send us your questions via Facebook or YouTube. We're on YouTube as well, Plant Whisperer 242. And here are some of the tips before you start backyard farming. So we had 7 tips I want you to think about. I mean, there are more, but I think these 7 ones are adequate enough for you to start successfully and to grow successfully. One of the first things is to identify what you want to grow. I always advise people, don't grow what you're not going to eat or don't grow what you're not passionate about, okay? So if you know you don't like kale, don't grow kale. If you don't like arugula, don't grow arugula because you're not going to be interested in it, so grow what you like, okay? Then what you need to do is location. You're going to have to look around your property, around your farm, whatever it may be, and check out the different areas. Location is important because some parts of your property may have sunlight, some may have more shading, and some may be partial shading. And that determines what you can grow in those areas. So location, location, location. Then you're going to have to know how you're going to grow your stuff. Not everybody has a plethora of yard space and soil space. So you're going to have to know how you are going to grow your stuff. Are you going to grow it in the ground? Or are you going to grow it in pots? Are you going to create raised beds? It all depends on what you want to grow it in. Are you going to grow it in crafted wood? Driftwood, sorry. It all depends on you. So you have to go to know what you want to grow it in. The next step was soil. You're going to have to know what soil you're going to grow your plants in. There are many different growing mediums. You can grow it in other stuff, not only soil, but you're going to have to decide which growing medium you are going to grow your seeds or your clippings in, depending on how you start to grow. Then you're going to have to consider your treatment regimen. How are you going to treat? Treatment referring to fertilizing and treating. How are you going to treat your crops once they start to mature? And we would have gone a bit in detail, a bit of detail about all these steps. We would have gone into a bit more detail. So you guys, you're going to have to consider your treatment regimen, right? And all of these steps are before you even buy a seed or buy soil. Think about these things. And then you have to consider harvesting, succession planting. That's what we're going to look at a bit more today. Succession planting. You are going to have to now consider all of these things before. Listen, guys, before you start, these are the steps to look at. And lastly, but not least, watering or irrigation. How are you going to be able to provide water to your plants, to your crops? Okay? Some people argue that that should be the first thing you think about. But however you want to make it, however, what's important to you. These are the steps you should consider before growing. So you guys, here at the Plant Whisperer 242, we're a team. And we have been growing. Like I tell people can tell you anything. They call themselves the best farmers in the world and they can do this and do that. But I say the proof is in the growing. And you guys, we started from seeds and we transplanted. We went through all the germination. We've been doing terminologies and keep telling you guys, remember the terminologies week for week. We went from the seed, we germinated, then we transplanted, and we showed all of our steps. So what we're going to do is recap from last week. We're going to show you some of what happened. I'm going to go into a little detail of what have occurred during this week with our crop, and we're going to take a look at it. So what we have here some of the progress. I'm putting it on the table until we can go to the next camera. So I want to tell everybody, good morning. If you guys, listen, this is an interactive show. You guys can talk to me. I will talk to you guys. Sorry, I'm on the wrong camera. You can talk to me. I'll talk to you if you have any questions. It's an informative and it's also an interactive show. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm going to answer them. So we're going to show what happened to our crop this week. So, we transplanted. Morning, Miss Martin. Yo, guys, I have a surprise for you guys. Miss Martin is fabulous. So, this is our crop. We're going to share. We're going to share. You're going to tell me what to do with what we have. So, this is the cucumber. We would have transplanted some of them. And one of the things we talked about last week is, I know a lot of people wonder, when can I transplant? When it's best to transplant? If you're putting it in the ground, here at Plant Whisperer 242, we're not really putting anything in the ground. We're going to donate these. We're going to give them away. We're going to share. So we're not going to really transplant our stuff into the ground. But for you guys, you started in some pots, or you started in the egg cartons, or you started in your starter trays. If you started in your starter trays, you may be wondering, when is it time to now put this in its forever space in the ground or in your raised bed? And like I said, they say after the second leaf, but I always tell anybody, just tap the bottom of the root. As you guys can see, I'm tapping here. And if it's easy for your plant to come out, you see the roots there? You guys see the roots? This is ready to transplant. So this is our cucumber. One of them. It's ready to transplant. the tomatoes here. This is our little surprise. We're going to be giving out tomatoes. We have beets growing, guys. We have okra. We have some cantaloupe growing. So you see the roots? You see the roots? Morning, Miss Williams. So these stuff are ready to, okay, let me fix it up. I'm like in a rush. These crop are ready to transplant. Gonna go to the next angle. Before we go, sorry. Now, like I say, grow a lot of stuff because doing a transplanting, not everything is going to live. So we had a few mishaps. You know, I'm still petting up a few of them, but this is going to happen during transplanting. Not all are going to live. So plant as much as possible because you're going to lose one or two. It's inevitable, no matter how good you are or how many years you've been planting, you're going to have one or two that's going to die. So like I said, the proof is in the pudding. It's in the potting soil, but we still have, things happen. So don't be discouraged. If you have this, you're still good, okay? Things are going to happen. So you guys see the good and the bad. Morning, Miss Young. Hey, Barbara. Okay, guys, so like I said, do not be discouraged. You are going to have one or two things that are going to meet its master, its final demise. But don't give up, okay? Don't give up. So what we're going to do now is we have a surprise for you guys. We want to show you something from Miss Martin. She is such a good grower. You know, one day we're going to have to bring Miss Martin in and see her garden. Okay, so Miss Martin sent some of her beautiful cucumbers that no, not that. We're not ready for that yet. We're not ready for that shot yet. But Miss Martin, you did an awesome job, and I will applaud you. Listen, your cucumbers look divine. Okay, so these are Miss Martin cucumbers. These are Mrs. Martin cucumbers that she started with, guys. Look, she started in the egg carton. I told you guys, if you cannot afford or you cannot find the starter trays, start it in an egg carton. Just put a little holes to the bottom of your egg carton. And so this is what she would have started with. And if you go to the next shot, it grew. I guess if we go back a little. No, it's going back to another shot. No. Yeah. So that's her. I know the producers here having fun with me. So this is, it's ready germinated. And the shot that we're hopefully going to get in a few seconds. Yes, she transplanted in a raised bed. Aren't they gorgeous? They're beautiful. You should soon be having fruit or vegetable. Some people argue if cucumber is a fruit or veggie. But you'll soon be having, you'll reap your harvest, and they are beautiful. You know, now with cucumbers, I'm going to give you a little side tip. Cucumbers, you can grow them on a trellis if you want, or you could just let them run. But they're beautiful. No, thank you, Ms. Martin. They are beautiful. Thank you for sharing, and being a motivation for people. Because some people may look at me and say, "Oh, you've been in the industry forever, Kat. You good with your hands or whatever." No, I want people to see that every day people are growing and they're growing well. You may not have started yet, but don't start. You may have had one or two problems, and I give up. My corn seeds didn't come. I keep telling people, germination usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. But sometimes these plants, they do hurt your feelings. They hurt your feelings, and they don't come until like 3 weeks. Don't give up. Don't give up. Continue growing. All right? So everybody give Ms. Martin a yay, thumbs up. Awesome job. Now, we're going to go into today's show. So you guys, as you saw with Ms. Martin, she would already transplanted. Perfect timing, and her plants are beautiful. Yeah, good job, Ms. Martin. But before we go into today's show, I'm supposed to give you a little tip of what I did. Now, I don't know what Ms. Martin would have did, but what I would have done, I'm not an advocate of fertilizers. That's just me. I'm not an advocate of fertilizers. But the only time I chose to use them is when we're in the process of transplanting. Before we transplant it to, right after germination and right before we transplant into our forever spot, be it in the ground or the raised bed, that's the only time I usually like to use fertilizers. Because during transplanting, your plant goes through a little shock. So you guys have your regimen ready. What fertilizer are you going to use for your plant? Every plant is different, okay? Every plant requires a different treatment regimen. So have that ready, okay? So you guys, we're going to go into today's show, which is more or less about progression, succession planting. And what is that all about? What is succession planting all about? So as we see, perfect timing. Miss Martin would have already, I'm getting my next notes. Miss Martin would have already transplanted in her forever spot. I don't think you're going to be moving that anytime soon. It's going to stay there. You're going to get lots of cucumbers we can pickle. And listen here, that going to be one of our shows. We could pickle some of our things. But anyway, Miss Martin would have already transplanted her cucumbers where she wants it to grow. There's no more moving for them, okay, Miss Martin? You ain't moving them no more. No more. We got to work with what we have. Hopefully they're in the right spot, right sunlight, right measurement. But succession planting. No, I don't need that up yet. So you have already transplanted your seedlings. You have prepared yourself for fruit and veggie. But what should you be expecting? Okay, now we go into succession planting. The first thing you should do after planting it in its forever spot, succession planting. And I want to give you the definition of succession planting. You guys, I'm throwing out these definitions because I want you, when you're speaking to a new grower, I want you to use terminologies so you could sound all professional. You are a professional in the game. So we talked about germination. Remember our terminologies. We talk about irrigation. Succession planting refers to several planting methods that increase crop availability during a growing season by making efficient use of space and timing. Now, there are many other terminologies for succession planting, but it's basically, hey, when Miss Martin's cucumbers were already produced and they die off. Now, not all plants have to die off. If you guys want help with knowing what to do, you can always reach out to us. We can help you out to maintain your plants. But when your plant would already died off, if it dies off, what are you going to do? You need something now to replace that same spot, that same area. Continue growing. Don't stop growing. And that's one way of succession planting. There are many terminologies and ways to succession plant, but in today's show, we're talking about having a continuity of plant ready. So when that one dies, you can transplant and put another one down. You can continue, especially if you're out here to make money of it or if you want to feed people. Succession planting is very important. Okay, so that's one of the things you should be expecting to do once you transplant. I have some, as you guys can see, I went to a local nursery and I got some more starter trays for succession planting. I know we as a team are gonna be giving away a lot of, if not all of the cucumbers and the tomatoes and the beets. So we have the succession plan. So I'm already starting that. Okay, so succession planning. Now, after you already transplanted, what you have to consider is you have to consider if you have enough space for your plants when you are doing transplanting. Okay, guys? So let's say corn. So your corn, before you transplanted or when you transplanted it, may have been 12 inches. But we all know corn can grow about 5 to 6 feet. Make sure you have enough space during your transplanting period. If you don't, you aim to get the risk of one or two of them dying in the process. So you're going to have to research how many space you need for each plant, the distance you should plant it. It may look a bit gaunty. You have one plant here and the other plant the next 3 feet. Morning, Donette. Donette, I babysitting your mint plant. I got to bring one for you, okay? So, like I said, you have to, when transplanting, and during this period, make sure that you transplant them in the right footage between each other, okay? Don't worry that they're small. Morning! Miss Rose, I ain't get no picture of these peppers yet. I need to see them. I need to see your photos because I know you're doing an awesome job. Good morning. I love your avatar, by the way. So guys, you're going to need enough space, okay? So for example, um, this is a squash that was grown the other day and it needed a lot of space. Morning. Listen, let me tell you guys, I have the best family members in the world. Listen, Kira all into plants. I said, I all over the place looking for Kira. Kira all into plants now. She ain't into the farm and she ain't outside now. But she all inside with her peace plant. And I can tell you guys, you can grow. Growing is not only about eating, but you might like to grow plants. Like Kira's all into her peace plants. She's all into air purifying plants. You know, grow, continue to grow, take care of it, you know. Yeah, Donette. I got the producer drop off your mint one day. You could be surprised. Okay, guys. So, again, succession planting. That's what we're talking about. Make sure you have enough space for your crop. That's going to be very important. So when you transplant it, you may see if you didn't plant it in enough space, one or two may die. That's because you didn't give it enough space. So study it up. If you have questions on how far you should plant, depending on your crop, give us a call and we let you know. The third thing you should be thinking of or that you will notice once you transplant in its forever space. So if you transplant, you're growing, everybody expects fruit or veggie. Okay. So you may planted your stuff and you haven't seen, what? I ain't outside yet. What? I want veggies for my kitchen. We can get you all together. We can make sure you straight. If anybody makes you straight, gotta be you, Kira. Okay, so I was by a very, very, very good client the other day. And they had beautiful tomatoes growing. The trees were green and beautiful, but it didn't have any fruit. You know, why grow a beautiful tree and it can't produce? You know, now in their case, their tomato was not, I wouldn't say anchored properly, but they didn't have it on a trellis. They didn't have it growing or anything. So the plant was under stress. So when a plant is under stress, it's not going to grow. So you guys, you're going to have to make sure that when you're growing stuff, you're growing it in the right way, using the right trellises, making sure they're propped up properly, because you may not produce fruit. And what there's no more fun than seeing you grow fruit. Okay? So in their case, they told them to prop it up some more, and I'm sure in the next week or so, they will have some tomatoes on their vine, on their tree, because it's so beautiful, but not any fruits yet. Okay? So you got to consider this when you are considering your forever spot. Okay? Another spot is you might have blossoms. You might have things growing, but they're dropping off. You're going to have to now consider, why is it dropping off? Is it that it's being attacked by an insect? Is it that it's getting enough food, nutrients, micronutrients? You may be lacking some calcium. You may be not lacking nitrogen. You may be not lacking phosphorus. What is it? What is it lacking? Every plant requires a different regimen. So guys, these are the things. You already put it in the ground. You're going to have to make sure you have these things in place so you can keep your flower, which is going to turn into fruit, which is a blossom. You're going to keep your blossom and ensure that your blossom does come to fruit, okay? The next step. Now, this is where the picture comes in. The producer is so eager to show this picture. When you guys are putting your plants in its forever spot, you're going to have to be very mindful of this. Okay, I'm waiting for the photos to come up. Do you want me to do okras and stuff? Please, yeah, my producer's wondering what am I talking about. So this is what you're going to expect, or this is what you should expect if you did it the way I grew some of the stuff. We're just waiting. Yes, if it's those, I know you only think it's cucumber growing for the team. No, I growing some other stuff. Cantaloupe, okra, watermelon. This team gonna be fed. We gonna feed. Our team is gonna be fed. I got no peace, people. You're running out there. But I'm waiting for the shot. So, and I intentionally did this because I know this is gonna happen. So I have some okra trees growing. For our okra lovers, I can't stand okra. But as you can see in the photo next to me, the photo there, there's a lot of weeds. So once you put your plant in the forever spot, you're going to have to now think about what's going to happen. Weeds happen, especially if you don't mulch it or whatever enough. You're going to get weeds. And what I did is a no-no, but I did this for the show. Never let your weeds get too prolific around your plants, because the weeds roots are going to tangle around your plant, and when you go to weed it up, you may have problems. But I got to deal with this very shortly, but I did it for the show. So that's the okra plant we have growing. So for our okra lovers, when they're done, whoever wants some, we're gonna give it away. And I had another shot, the cantaloupe. So we have cantaloupes growing as well. I just started them right in the ground. Like certain things you start in starter tray, certain things you start in the ground. So we have cantaloupe, and as you can see, all around the cantaloupe are all type of weeds. Ugh. You're going to expect weeds as long as you are treating your plant and you're fertilizing your plants and you're composting your plants. Weeds are a plant, people, okay? Let me let y'all know weeds are a plant. And they're going to love the food you're giving your other plants. So they're going to be growing as well. But try to keep down the weeds. I know this is going to be a problem. You know, Ms. Martin, I know you would have started my Google search screaming at me for how often I'm. Well, at least you're trying to get the information, so that's good. Ms. Martin, I know a lot of people are under the assumption that if they put their things in a raised bed, or if they use a weed ender or weed matting, they can get weeds. You could get weeds, people. Okay? I want y'all to know this. So, as long as there is available soil, weeds are going to grow. So what you may notice, we as Bahamians, we don't do this a lot, and I preach it a lot that we should. We need to mulch. Don't use red mulch. Don't use any colored mulch. Use cypress mulch. Mulch around your plants. Okay, people? Do not use red mulch. Do not use chocolate mulch. You can use cypress mulch or pine bark. Mulch around your fruit trees to avoid what you saw growing in our farm. Now, like I said, I intentionally did it, but I can mulch and show it out to you guys in a minute. But mulch, to avoid weeds, mulch. And plus the mulch is going to help you retain water. Okay? Like I said, call your nursery, look for cypress mulch or pine bark mulch. It's going to help the process of weeding and weeds just choking your plants to death. Okay? So this is what you're going to expect when growing. Ms. Martin, believe me, those cucumbers, unless they start to grow prolifically fast, you're going to have a weed problem. Okay? And that's for everybody, for us too. Hey, morning, Mr. Hinsey. Hinsey, you growing? Are you growing anything? Are you growing? What I can do, right? I can donate some tomato plants to you, specifically for you. So you are going to have to mulch. I recommend mulching around your vegetable plants. Whatever you're growing, mulch it. Nothing with a dye, people. All natural mulch. You're going to have weeds. They're competition. They are a problem when it comes to farming. I don't care what you're farming. I do a once-a-day inspection in the garden bed to keep. I'm telling you, if you don't keep on top of those weeds, the weeds will kill you. They will choke your plants to death. So, Miss Knowles, you sound like an expert. I need to really bring you on the show. We need to come to your garden one day and bring you in. Okay, so the last step of what you're going to have to expect, people, when you are growing, you are going to need to document. So the minute you see a blossom turn into a fruit, into a tomato, into a cucumber, into whatever, document the day it turned into a fruit. Okay? Because what we tend to do is we tend to love to see our fruit. How can I stop my romaine? Boy, bolting is very hard. And we in the 242 and it's hot. Okay? It's hot. As long as heat is available, it's going to bolt. So the only recommendation I will recommend is putting it in a very cool area. Stuff like, I mean, cucumbers, they say it too, but you can get off with cucumbers. But things that tend to like cool weather, you get bolting a lot in lettuce and in cilantro, but I don't like. But I grow it some for y'all too, cilantro. It happens once it starts to get hot. And unfortunately, we're in the Bahamas. So if you have a nice big tree that has a lot of shading, but can allow some sunlight. You don't need total shade, but you need some diffuse filtered light. That will help with the bolting, but for the most part, I tell people, especially stuff with kales and lettuce, you have to use it. I know you might be like, oh God, how much lettuce I could eat? But you need to eat it. Good morning, Kat. We are tuned in. Hey! Welcome the monkers. You guys, listen. You guys need to, Ivana, I can't remember the name of your YouTube page, your Instagram page off my head, but listen, you guys, she makes the most awesome pastries, okay? Ivana Monka, the most awesome pastries. Can you put mulch right up to the branches, or do I need space to the bottom? No, you can bring your mulch right, as long as you would already transplanted them. I would tell you, give it about, before you mulch, so let's say you would have transplanted today. Don't mulch until next week, Saturday. Give it about a week for your plant to transition before you mulch. And yes, give it about maybe an inch from the base of the plant. So let's bring our tomato plant here. Let's bring our tomato. So let's say this is your tomato. You can see, guys, I don't know if we switch it. Okay. So we can see here the stem. So if I were to mulch, let's say this is the mulch, I would mulch it about an inch. Oh God, the mulch went. I would mulch it about an inch away from the plant, not directly to the base, because you still have to allow water. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. My hands are in the way. So I would put the mulch right about an inch away from the stem of the plant, because don't forget now, you still need to allow water. Well, they can see the mulch. You still need to allow water to get in there. But now with mulching, another thing I want y'all to know with mulching, once you start to mulch, monitor how often you water, because mulch helps with the retention of moisture, okay? So if you used to water every day, you might have to cut that out, because the mulch is going to prevent water from evaporating from the soil, okay, guys? So good question. Good question. Guys, leave a little space for when you do water, and be careful of how often you do water, okay, once you start to mulch. Again, don't use no red mulch. You already know, no red mulch, no chocolate mulch, nothing. Once plants start to bolt, can I salvage them, or should I just pull them up? Okay, so once your plant starts to bolt, wait until you get a seed. Plants are such awesome creatures. So we had some cilantro, and it started to bolt. I was happy because I don't like cilantro. But it started to bolt. But what we did is we waited until the flower produced seeds. All plants going to produce a seed. So once it starts to bolt, leave it. Leave it till you get the flower. And once the flower produces seeds, save the seeds for your next session. Okay, this is about succession planting. So there's nothing wrong with bolting. You're just going to have to consider that for next season, wherever spot you grew it in, don't grow it in there again. Okay, it's gonna bolt. Some plants just bolt. It's not much you can do. I know they sell certain species, non-bolting species. In Bahamas, those things can bolt because of the heat. It is hot over here. Oh, yay! Listen, y'all know Kid Island is the best. Listen, if y'all come from Kid Island, y'all is the best people in the world. Y'all know I go with that thing. Yes, 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 Wayne. So bolting, you're going to get that. It's hot in the Bahamas. We can't avoid it. But bolting is good because you're going to be able to produce seeds. Oh, sorry. Yes. Listen, no, thank you. You produce awesome pastries. So I got to give you a lot of credit, eh? Beautiful donuts. You actually make me want to eat donuts yesterday when I was looking at your donuts. If I know. Good stuff. So back to the bolting. Back to plants. Bolting, there's nothing wrong with bolting. But I tell people to prevent it from bolting so fast, you have to eat your crop. Okay? I realized with the cilantro, because I didn't like cilantro and I wasn't using it, that thing bolts like, I thought that was Usain Bolt, how fast that bolted. I was like, what? But again, like I said, I was able to save some, create some seeds and growing some cilantro for whoever loves cilantro. When it's ready, I'm going to let you know when it's ready. You guys can pick it up or whatever. So nothing wrong with bolting. Yeah, Ms. Williams, save your seeds, and then you can use it for your next session of growing. So you would need to go into a local nursery and grow. And that's another thing what people have to consider too when growing. Growing is not only about getting food, it's also about producing seeds. Save your seeds. You could also give it to a neighbor. Oh, my tomato tree finally has. Y'all, you're fabulous. My tomato tree finally has its first four flowers beyond. Listen, watch them. And another thing, when you're now talking about transplanting, a very good thing to do. I know a lot of us may be afraid of bees. We may be allergic to bees. You want to introduce flowering plants like pentas. Um, they're small, they're easy to manage. So pentas, you could call your local nursery for pentas. They are very good with the introduction of bees. Okay, if you're a holistic person and you don't want to use too much fertilizers, I mean, I don't like fertilizers that much, but I'm that holistic. But if you want to be holistic and don't want to use too much fertilizers, you need bees. You need bees in your garden, okay? You need bees. And a very good plant that produces bees are pentas. Call your local nursery for pentas. You can plant them close, in proximity to your, and this is for you, Mr. Knowles, okay? You want to plant them close to your vegetables, like your tomatoes, to try to hold. I know I'm giving you all extra tips, okay? To hold on to your blossoms. Pentas are a good option. Mexican firebush, they good too, but they big. So if you all have time to be planting big plants, you can ask for Mexican firebush. And we all know that the marigolds are good for repelling insects that may eat at your tomatoes. But before I got sidetracked with some of the comments, one of the last thing I want you guys to consider, like I said, you have to put when your blossom turns into a fruit. You do not want your fruit to stay on the plant too long. It does one of two things. It allows insects to come and eat your good stuff. And two, I realized that with a lot of plants, certain plants, not all, if you let them ripe on the vine, it sometimes kills your plant. So picking it right before, so if you Google and they say, hey, cucumber is 4 weeks for maturity, let's say, I'm just giving it up. That's not the time, but if it's 4 weeks for maturity, let it go for 3.5 weeks. It's going to mature on its own. Just a couple days won't kill a fruit. All right? So, until the more riper it gets on the plant, it sort of kills the plant. It's heavy. It's like ready to give birth, but it can't drop it, you know? So especially for small trees like tomatoes, you want to make sure pick them and before they ripe on the tree. You can let it ripe, but I find it doesn't work as well. But so those are the tips. Those are the things you should expect when you have transplanted. These are things to look for. And again, succession planting. So when you would have tomatoes don't have to die. People buy it away, okay? But let's say your tomato tree dies. You want to be able to now replace that plant with something else so that you'll continually have another fruit, okay? So you guys enjoy growing. Growing is fun. I don't care if you haven't started yet. Get your air carton or get your starter tray. Guys, I showed you what a starter tray is. Get your starter tray. Unless you grow like watermelon, like what I did in cantaloupe. Oh, sorry, guys. That's it there. Starter tray. So unless you're growing like watermelon or cantaloupe, throw it right in the ground. They're going to grow. So you guys, don't stop. I know where this curfew is going to be lifted soon. Don't stop growing. We're going to motivate each other to continue growing. Bolting. Ms. Williams, I want some of them seeds from that lettuce, from that romaine lettuce. I going to be calling you for that. I need some of those seeds. And I find that when you, I have marigolds all around my block beds in the holes, but it will also look, pentas are, you will have bees galore. And the more bees you have, the better your germination process, your fruiting process will be. Your plant will hold on to them things like, wow. Yeah, so pentas are very good. And like I said, the Mexican firebush is also a good one to introduce bees to your garden. Don't be afraid of the bees. Introduce certain insects and repel others, okay? So Like I said, Miss Williams, let that thing bolt. I come for some seeds and we could grow. Because I find that things that have bolted, their seeds grow better than the ones we actually buy. Yeah, weird enough. But in closing, I want to thank you guys for showcasing, Ms. Martin, for showcasing your beautiful cucumbers. You are doing awesome. I'll let you guys know if you, I come in for my things, Ms. Williams. Make sure, but use them. The only tip I give you, cool place, plant them in a cooler place, and use your lettuce. I don't care if you're hungry, clip them, store them in the fridge. Yeah, yes, let us produce. Yes, let us produce seeds. I'm telling you, let us produce seeds. You go in the food store, they ain't look like your normal type of seed, but they produce a seed. Yeah, let us produce seeds. You have so many type of lettuce, romaine, GL, this type of lettuce, that type of lettuce. There's so many lettuces, but you know, in closing, again, I want to thank you guys. Like and share the video. There are so many persons out there who may still be considering to grow. Everybody grow something. You're gonna love it. Say, Berto, I still wait for you to encourage somebody to garden. I'm waiting on your potential. Tell the wife good morning, and you got to give me an update on the grass. How it looking? Cat need a lime seedling. What type? What type? Let me know what type. Let me know, because the funniest thing is I have some, I go to here. Well, I guess I can put it here. It's not that serious. So we have some key limes that I grow. Let's see what we could do. I'll pot some up and we give you some key lime. Persian lime takes a bit. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Kat. Knowledge and skill. Great Saturday morning. Listen, what we could do, right? Next Saturday, we could have some nice pastries from Ivana. I know you could kill me, from Miss Baker's house. Say Baker's house? Ivana, tell me the name. Baker's house. We're going to have some nice pastries and tea, some fever grass tea from Baker's house on tomorrow's, well, next week's show, okay? Show you what the 242 can do, some pastries on the show. But for you, definitely, thank you, Kat, this was a great session this morning because you guys are great. Ask your questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions. That's what I'm here for. On the norm, I can charge you a little thing. So I tell you, ask your questions during the show, okay? So we getting there. But I need some updates. Because like I said, this show is not only about backyard farming. After this session over, we're going to do more, like I said, with landscaping, specialty. So for everybody out there, a lot of people don't even like farming. But if you like your yard, if you want a beautiful yard, we're going to be featuring people's yard. We're going to be giving you tips on how to get rid of weeds and all of these other stuff. We're going to do that. And, show you different products that you can use. The best products are there. Because some of these products is little, anyway, they just won't get your money. But, Bakehouse. Yes, we're going to have something from Bakehouse. With the fever grass tea. We're going to have it. She does awesome, good stuff. Yeah, what was yesterday? Peanut donut with mulberry. I was like, all of my feelings. You are fantastic. Love the sessions. No, you are fantastic, Miss Knowles. You are great. I'm still waiting to see some of those peppers. And listen, and I hope on this show, what we can do with each other as a community, we can share. Miss Knowles, you might have something. Ivana, you might have something. I learned a lot, Kat. I'm ready to get... Kira, listen, Mrs. Sanders could be too happy he have company in the backyard. And Mrs. Sanders, he has an awesome garden too. But thanks for the knowledge. Kira, what we could do with you, right? We could do a session just on interior plants for Kira, because Kira is in love with her spattis philums and her anthuriums. We're going to do sessions on everything, not only backyard farming, but just plants in general and getting people back to their behemoth, back to our original love, which is plants. But I'm definitely going to start. It's so funny that you said you wanted some seedlings. What I'm going to do for you, I'm going to start some key limes for you. Some from seeds, some from clippings, and some Persian limes. And we're going to look at the, virtual hugging, I know, and kisses. What we're going to do, we're going to start some for you. clippings, seeds, and that's something else we're going to talk about, growing stuff from seeds, growing stuff from propagation, sorry. So this came from one of our trees, one of our lime trees. This is a key lime, nice and yellow, I know it. And key limes are awesome. They're actually better than Persian, I think. Their taste is a bit stronger. So we're going to grow some, and then we'll give you some. I want it to be a community where we share. If you have something I don't have, once we're part of the team, we can share and share the love and gain knowledge. Because, yeah, I might have a lot of knowledge in something, but I'm sure you have more knowledge in something else. So we can share the knowledge and continue growing. Something's funny about, someone say something funny. Say they need every, no, but listen here, Tonette, I already told you what I could do for you. Tonette is a specialist. She is, I think, one of the best hygienists out there. And like I tell people, grow what fits your, yes, hugs and kisses, Miss Rose. But like I say, grow to your profession. So if you are someone in the hygiene, dental hygiene, I think you should grow stuff like carrots, mints, parsley, that you can introduce to your customers and they could see how growing is fun. Grow what you know, grow what you love. So you may be in the construction field, grow stuff for landscaping. You don't have to grow food, but let's grow plants. Let's just grow. Let's grow together so we can grow together. But I'm definitely going to start today just for you. I'm going to start some clippings of some key limes and some Persian limes for you. And then show you the progress. Because you guys, as you know, I have these mints for Donette. Yeah, they for Donette. And as you can see, the roots are doing well. And I'm planning on transplanting them this evening. So you can see all the roots on those. You see how well, I don't know if this is showing good. But Donette, you could keep it in your office and customers could chew it after they leave or before so they get fresh breath. But we're going to transplant these for Donette, some mint. And we go from there. And the celeries are doing good. So we're going to grow some key limes. And I'm going to grow some seeds, clippings. But Persian limes can only grow by clippings, by propagation, because they don't have any seeds, people. They don't have any seeds, so we're going to have to clip and grow. So I want to thank you guys. Let's grow together. Don't stop growing. The season. Hey, Debbie, say thank you again. Thank you. I want to thank everybody out there that's growing together. And like I said, let's grow as a community. Let's grow and grow as a community. And if you have an excess, I'm going to tell everybody in this community, if you have an excess of anything, call me. And I'll reach out to all of our viewers who wants this and who wants that. And we can share, okay? It makes no sense you having a whole bunch of something unless you're going to produce tomato jam or, let's give it out. Let's give it out to some communities. Oh, no, Miss Martin, I really want to thank you. You have been sending us pictures. Tonette's excited. You've been sending us pictures and you've been showing us your progress. And I hope that after this session, you have heard all the terms and you can get this great giveaway. I know all growers are going to love this giveaway. Say, hold on, this is everything, Bolton. You have this in a hot sun. Hold on, Miss Williams. Your basil. What type of basil do you have, by the way? What type of basil do you have? Is it Italian? I appreciate you so much, Donna. She keep my teeth clean. I'm flinging. Ms. Williams, what type of basil do you have? There's so many. You have so many variety of basils. You have Italian basil. You have spicy clove basil. You have a lot. But again, everything, seems like you're an herb gardener. Seems like you like herbs more than anything, Miss Williams. Let me know what you like. Probably have a surprise for you too, something special. Supposed to be getting you guys, I think some scorpion peppers, so we could grow together and we could share it. I still waiting on Miss Williams. She said, what type of basil? But if your basil is bolting, everything that bolts produce a seed. It may not look like your typical seed, and you may be like, what this thing is? Trust me, that's a seed. All right, let it dry up, clip it off. You can put it in a nice clean plastic bag, a little plastic bag, whatever. But on a nice brown paper bag or whatever. Oh, you have Italian basil. Oh, they're the best. Now, I think your challenge, Miss Williams, I mean, the show probably gone over time, but your challenge, I'm noticing, if you, especially if you let Italian basil bolt or get to that point, you ain't using it enough. What you're going to have to do, it seems like you're a herb lover. You need to prune your plant, even, yeah, you love herbs. Yeah, I could tell. So, what you're going to have to do, even when you don't want it, you're going to keep your plants on a regimen. Once a week, um, you're gonna have to go there, and you may not like the sun, but make it early in the morning or late in the afternoon, whichever day is more easier for you. Religiously go there and prune back your herbs. You're not using it fast enough. And I know you might say, well, I don't use it. You could start making seasonings, okay? Um, get some salts from Inagua. Can you watching? You can need a little salt. Two seasonings, crow seasonings. Even if you don't need to use it, grind them, dry them, grind them. Use them with sage. I have some sage. You know, grind them with some sage or fever grass. Fever grass is an awesome seasoning. A lot of people don't realize that. They call it lemongrass. Do seasonings with them every week. Crow, make a seasoning, okay? That's the only way you're going to keep your herbs, because your things shouldn't be bolting like this. I know it's hot in the Bahamas, but especially not Italian basil. They easy. And another thing too, which you can do, Miss Williams, which is always good, and if you need help with it, if you say, okay, I can't do that much seasonings, I ain't got that much friends to give it out to, what you can do is start clipping. So like what I did of the mint tree here for Donette, I did a few clippings. Okay, sorry. I did a few clippings and you can see all the roots. Okay, so what you can do, clip them. You need a good, as you can see the inches on this. Clip it and start produce some basils. You know, cilantro is a bit, cilantro is a different one, but definitely basils are an easy one to, I'm back on it. No, we can go back. Basils are an easy one to germinate, not germinate, but to grow, to propagate. That's the right term to use. Don't use the wrong term, but basils are an easy one to catch, to clip. So you could just start producing. Oh, that's why your stuff is bolting. So you're gonna have to. You have no big tree, but you're gonna put it somewhere cooler. You gotta find a cooler spot, be it under, between a shed and a house, or somewhere cooler, because your plants are gonna bolt. But for, like I said, the only way to sort of help your problem is to keep it on a regimen where you continue clipping, 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 clipping. But I do appreciate everybody, and I appreciate the team members on this team. Plant 242 Whisper. We're gonna share. We're gonna have gardens that people emulate, and they wanna. They hate us. They get envious. We're gonna have the best gardens, the best fruits, the best yield. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna share. We're gonna feed, or we're gonna make, I don't know, tomato paste with all our tomatoes we produce. See you guys. You know, let's grow. Let's continue to grow. Don't stop growing. And one thing I want you guys to do, I don't know who's gonna take the initiative to do this, but I want somebody in this group. It's gonna be me too, but someone along with me. Let's start growing peanuts. Peanuts is so important. Let's start growing peanuts, and it's easy to grow, and it's a good way. Anyway, once you start growing peanuts, guys, whoever's joining me, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with it and why it's so beneficial for us to grow peanuts, okay? So that's our weekend task for next week. Let me know if you guys start. I'm going to show you what we would have done with our peanuts for next week, all right? So enjoy your weekend, and let's grow together so we can grow together. I want to say goodbye and see you back same time next week, 10:30. Like and share the video. Somebody's going to be encouraged to grow, even if they haven't started as yet. So again, let's grow together so we can grow together.